There is a new name in track and field, and he is only 18 years old, and he is already making the biggest names in the sport nervous. His name is Quincy Wilson, and right now, he is the most exciting young runner in the world. At the Boston Indoor Grand Prix, something special happened. This was not just any regular track meet. The Boston Indoor Grand Prix is one of the biggest indoor racing events in the world. The best runners on the planet show up here. World champions, Olympic medalists, athletes who have spent years working to get to the top. This is the kind of stage where legends are made and where young runners can get eaten alive if they are not ready. Quincy Wilson was ready. He stepped onto that track like he belonged there. And not just belonged, he competed. He went toe-to-toe with some of the best runners in the world and held his own. The crowd noticed. The fans noticed. And most importantly, the veteran runners noticed too. Think about what it means to be 18 years old and standing on that starting line. Most kids his age are worried about school and hanging out with friends. Quincy Wilson is out here racing against global champions and not blinking. That takes a special kind of confidence. That takes a special kind of talent. People have been calling him a teenage prodigy, and when you watch him run, it is easy to see why. There is something different about the way he carries himself on the track. He does not look nervous. He does not look out of place. He looks like he has been doing this his whole life, because in many ways, he has. Wilson has been on the radar for a while now. People in the track world knew his name before Boston, but this performance, this took things to a whole new level. This was not a junior race or a youth competition. This was the real thing, the biggest stage, and he showed up. What makes this even more impressive is the competition he was up against. These are not just good runners. These are world-class athletes at the top of their game. Athletes who train every single day to make sure no one can touch them. And here comes this 8-year-old kid stepping into their world and saying, "I belong here too." And the track world is listening. When a young athlete performs like this on a stage this big, it sends a message. It tells the veterans that someone new is coming. It tells the fans that there is a fresh face worth paying attention to. And it tells everyone watching that the next chapter of track and field might just belong to Quincy Wilson. The veterans are on notice. That is not just a saying, that is the reality after Boston. When an 8-year-old can stand in the same race as world champions and hold his own, the sport pays attention. Coaches pay attention, sponsors pay attention, everyone pays attention. And what comes next for Quincy Wilson is a question that has the entire track community buzzing. He has already shown that he can compete at this level. The question now is, how good can he actually get? Because if this is him at 18, the ceiling feels almost impossible to imagine. Track and field has always had its young stars. Every generation brings someone new who changes the game. Someone who makes you stop and say, "This kid is different." Quincy Wilson is starting to feel like that kind of athlete. The kind that only comes around every so often. The kind that makes you want to watch every single race just to see what happens next. Boston was just one meet. One performance. But sometimes, one performance is all it takes to change everything. And for Quincy Wilson, that moment happened at the Boston Indoor Grand Prix in front of the world, against the best, at just 18 years old. The veteran runners looked across that track and saw something they were not expecting. They saw a teenager who was not afraid. They saw a teenager who was fast. They saw a teenager who was just getting started. And that should make every single one of them very, very nervous.